What fights do we have tomorrow? Maybe the last 3 available ones, right? Not the last boss, I think. I mean, of course, we don't test the last boss, but... Sprocketmonger, Lock and Stock, and the One-Armed Bandit. Yeah, bam, bam, bam. Rocket Monster, Lock and Stock, One-Armed Bandit. Oh yeah, and Muggsy. Yeah, so last 3. So let's do where did I put this? Oh yeah, in here. There we go. So let's start with Rocket Monster by main caps. Get some separation between bosses, make it easier to read. Okay, Sprocketmonger. There. What does he look like? Alright. Oh, he's got a bunch of shit. Okay. Oh boy, this will be interesting. Alright, first thing we do, open up everything. Usual complaint about so many things in the encounter journal, blah 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 blah. That everything looks like it. Alright, there we go. Let's do it. Let's review some bosses. So, Sprocketmonger. Let's see what this man does. Activate intentions. Let's try to make this a little bit smaller so you can see tooltips. There we go. Lock and Stock halts the conveyors and electrifies them. Oh no, this is conveyor boss. This is Siegecrafter Blackfuse. Oh no. Halts the conveyors, electrifies them, inflicting damage to players within the area every 0.2 seconds. In addition, he activates all of his inventions. So, activate inventions. Does damn to anyone on conveyor and activates all inventions. So what inventions does he have? Blazing Beam. Bam. Unleash the line of fire for 5 seconds, dealing damage to anyone within effect. Dodge beam. Duh. Okay. Rocket barrage. Massive rocket every 2 seconds for 4 seconds, so just 3 of them. 6 damage to players on impact. Dodge circle. Mega magnetize. Pulls players towards itself. Upon contact, players become stunned, so stay away from magnet. Or get stunned. Okay. Empowered inventions. Huh. I guess we're gonna find out what empowers these. Jumbo Void Beam. Okay. Another beam. Okay. Beam. Dodge beam. I don't know how they're gonna move, so that's probably gonna be the difference. Void barrage. Dodge circles. Yeah. Oh, go invis. Hell yeah. Foot blasters. Launches several landmines into the room. Stepping on a foot blaster triggers an explosion and embeds shrapnel into the player. In addition, these reactive mines detonate on contact with inventions or wire transfer, triggering an explosion. When a foot blaster is detonated, it explodes, doing 1.8 million damage to all players and causes them to take 200% increased damage from explosion for 2 seconds. So, boss throws landmines. Running over them does pretty wide damage and damage AF4 and increased damage for 2 seconds. Inventions that hit mines also cause explosion. So this is likely a players have to pop at certain times to not get overrun, probably. Players who step on them get shrapnel, which is what? Dot for 2 minutes, and if you hit another mine, you die. Basically. 1000% increase. I think it just does damage. I don't think it's a dot. Okay. Yeah, so you can only pop one per player. That's a lot. 1000% is 10 times, so 12 million damage. Or it's 11 times. Lock and stock overloads the capacitors around the factory. So this is wire transfer. Okay. Wire transfer also causes explosions. So overloads the capacitors, causing a section of the floor to become electrified, standing within the area, flex, blah, 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 blah. So wire transfer is area denial slash smolder on. Any mines hit by wire transfer explode. So need to clear area that will be electrified before it happens, or you die. Cool. Screw up. Lock stock marks players, damage, nature damage, and causing a deadly drill to emerge their location every 1 second for 3 seconds. Touching a drill causes the player to become screwed. Touching a drill punctures a player, stunning them, causing them to bleed. Physical damage for 1 second up to 6 seconds. So screw up is just damn to player, then tentacles on bloodbound for 3 seconds. Being hit by tentacle stuns and it does jam. Okay, it's pretty easy. Just keep moving. Sonic Boom does damage, I assume. Damage to all players and additional damage. Yeah, so Sonic Boom is just raid dam. Firecracker Trap. Touching a trap causes it to snap shut, launching the player into the air, inflicting fire damage every 0.5 seconds. The pain of the fiery blister additionally increases movement speed by 60%. Interesting. Firecracker Trap launches you in air, does damn, but gives 60% speed increase. Gives his current target a package of explosives, 6 seconds does damage, inflicting. Okay, so tank dot that has to be run out of raid. And that's Pyro Party Pack. There's been plenty of examples about that. Gravigunk. Lock and Stock's attacks cause energy to cling to the current target, increasing all damage taken by 20%. Okay, just taunt swap. Phase 2. That was all phase 1. Jesus. Phase 2. Upon reaching 100 energy. Knocks players back and starts channeling. Okay, so
Hello.
hello. Bonjour.
Looking at the fight?
I am indeed. I haven't been sharing my screen because there's been nobody in here. There you go.
This is for not this. Well, obviously they canceled this week, so this is next week's.
This is for no, it's tomorrow. They didn't cancel Fridays, did they?
Hey,
I thought they
no,
only
you are
canceled
correct.
Thursdays.
You are correct.
I'd be very sad if they canceled tomorrow's as well.
Well, you're currently on PTRs, right? So they haven't.
Yeah,
Yeah, so you're actually good.
I am able to log in. Okay. Yeah, so this one's interesting. I'm almost done with it, and then I can go over it with you. I'm sure you've already seen it, though.
Check my note.
So, Bleeding Edge empowers an invention, and causes Void Explosion every 5 seconds. Let's Void Explosion. Lock and stock teams with unstable black blood, unleashing waves of void energy to inflict damage to all players and cause the next 1.8 million healing to be absorbed. Okay, so causes redam plus heal absorb every 5 seconds. Okay. Black blood splatter. Gouts of black blood gush out of the canisters throughout the facility, splattering to the ground, inflicting damage to players within 2 yards. And dodge circles for 20 seconds. Okay. Upgraded blood tech. Lock and stock becomes empowered by the black blood, increasing his damage by 15%. So this might be similar to the boss we tested last week, where he goes like phase 1, phase 2, phase 1, phase 2. Because this says this stacks, so you assume that he goes into this phase a couple times. Similar to Styx Bunk Junker, where he repeats between P1 and P2, with P2 lasting 20 seconds, which would be like kind of a...
Rocket.
Okay, yeah, ooh, this is an interesting fight. So basically he's got a bunch of inventions that are out there that do shit. What I'm curious of is like, there doesn't seem to be a way to get rid of any of the inventions, so you just kind of have to play around them the whole time. So
Yeah.
uh,
Okay, so my notes are mythic. That's why I'm like confused.
yeah.
What about the models? Is there like a bunch of different models?
Yeah, there's a model for each one of his inventions,
Okay.
but they just look like items and stuff. So what I'm assuming is happening is like on boss pool, inventions spawn all across the room. And from what this kind of says is that this is going to be like an area denial fight. So you're going to start in one section, maybe a quadrant or a third, and then eventually he's going to electrify that section, so you have to move out of it. He also periodically, I don't know how often, throws out mines. And if you run on top of a mine, it does damage to you. It does damage to everyone. It does extra damage to you. And it puts a debuff on you so you can't run on top of another mine for 2 minutes. And it's similar to, what is it, Tindril dispels, where you can't dispel them all at once because it does increase damage for 2 seconds after that to any other mines that explode. But any inventions that contact this, or the area denial effect that like ends you being able to stand in a zone, will also set off all mines. So you have to like have players pop these as you're going along, which is kind of similar to Taros from Vault of the Incarnates, where you have like the pillars and you have to like bowl down the pillars with the line from the tanks, and any ones that are still left up when the area denial happens explode. Except this sounds like it'll be basically a wipe if that happens, so you have to get rid of all of them. It's also interesting to me that it says if these contact other inventions. So I don't know if these inventions move, or if the boss throws out these inventions every once in a while instead of them just all spawning on pull.
The room for this one is like a conveyor belt, right?
Yeah.
So I wonder if they're just like moving in and out of like the. Yeah, that's probably something that we'll just see when we see the fight.
Yeah, but they might just be moving on the conveyor belt the whole time. Yeah, that's probably what's gonna happen. So here's the room. So it's probably these 4 sort of sections. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know how you get in between them or something or not, but You're probably like playing in each section, and they spawn in each section. It might be like the conveyor belt might be constantly moving, so you're constantly like fighting against it and stuff or something. And then he throws out mines, and the conveyor belt might like pull an invention into the mine.
Do the mines like knock you up? Like I'm looking at the gap
No.
in the middle right there.
They do not. There is something else that knocks you up, but it doesn't say it knocks you forward. It just knocks you up, which is the firecracker trap. This launches the player into the air. Maybe it does like knock you up and then you can control where you fall, so maybe like you have to do that to move between sections. I don't know. It's really hard to tell, especially with not knowing like how big these areas are. I assume they're pretty big.
Yeah.
This is going to be a really interesting fight. I don't know if I particularly have any like specific things like tests on a character basis. Maybe
I
are
guess
the
the only thing would be like, can you manually just jump over the gaps? Which you should be able to see right away. Otherwise you'll just fall.
Yeah, are the mines baitable? It doesn't really say anything about how the mines are thrown out. It just says launches several mines into the room. But maybe they're baited towards players or around the raid or something like that. Another question I have.
Just skipping ahead, I know there's a mythic mechanic, which is like the Silken Court. You have negative and positive charges.
Of course.
So that might help you, or might help us kind of determine how this fight's supposed to play, because there's two sides of the conveyor belt. So obviously we know on Mythic, we're gonna have to deal with that mechanic like that. So I wonder if it's gonna be something like that on Heroic, where you still have to take advantage of the rest of the room.
Yeah. How much damage does this do when it explodes? 1.8 million damage, and increases by 200%, which is 3 times as much. So that's 1.8 to 3.6 to 5.4 million on the second time. So if you pop 2 at once, you take, what is that, 7.2 million? That's a lot. You probably don't want to do that. Probably kills the person who pops the second one.
Yeah, with other stuff going off, they're probably gonna die, but it's like a heroic mechanic, so I guess the more gear we get, it might be forgivable, but it just seems like 2 seconds you just don't want to wait. You just want to wait.
It seems like a lot, but it might be like Sick Ran where like blowing them up doesn't really matter later. But yeah, I don't know what else I have to like really test, right? This area denial. This is like tentacles from Bloodbound Horror. You just keep moving. Just AoE damage that knocks you into the air, so it's interesting to see like what can you do with that. This is a tank mechanic that the tank has to run out, so maybe the tank has to get knocked into the air to get this mechanic away from us. Maybe this is just empowering an ability and throwing shit on the ground. Those conveyors have to be huge for the amount of like stuff you have to dodge and move around. And then these are just the empowered abilities, which really are just exactly the same as the other abilities.
They're just void space.
I'm sure they probably look different. Maybe they act different. Like maybe the regular beam doesn't move and like this beam rotates or something like that. I have no idea. But they effectively do exactly the same thing. Oh, those aren't too interesting.
What did the Foot Blaster say?
The Foot Blaster is the mine. So you walk onto it, it does damage to you, it does damage to the whole raid, and it does extra damage to you. It puts a debuff on you so you can't pop another one yourself. And each one you pop has increased damage from any others that pop for the next 2 seconds. And they blow up when a player walks on them, when the area denial happens, or when they come in contact with an invention. So these are the inventions. The beam turret, rocket launcher for the barrages, and the magnet, and then you have the void versions of the beam turret and the rocket launcher. So I don't know if like the magnet moves, because it doesn't look like it's potentially in the grounds. Maybe the magnet moves and pulls you into different locations. This looks like it's pretty set. This looks like it's pretty set, so I don't think those really move. But yeah, that'll be interesting to see. This is a boss where I really like, I don't have much to say about it besides just like going in and playing it.
Yeah, like just looking at the dungeon journal, there's really no way to understand how it works, so it's actually pretty exciting.
Yeah, like you can understand each individual mechanic, but like how it's actually going to play out and how you have to deal with all of those is going to be so different depending on like the order of events, when everything happens, where you have to be. And there's just a lot of stuff that you actually don't know how it fully works, like the knock up. Do you knock up and go to a different place? You don't know how the beams actually look, or the barrage circles, or like where the mines get placed, or if things move. So all that's just going to be answered when we get there. That's cool though. I like it. Oh man, there's so many freaking abilities. Here I go again, talking about how many abilities there are.
Okay, yeah, this one.
Jesus.
This one's cool.
I don't even want to like write all this down. Too much shit.
Well, aside from I guess just the obvious, this one seems a lot more straightforward. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to jump ahead, but there's coins. You deposit the coins, different combinations. It's going to be one of those fights. It's really interesting.
This is a marathon just to click all these abilities. Look at how long this is. What in the hell? Alright, here we go. Gotta do it. What's this boss's name? One Arm Bandit. Alright, we go. Spin to win, baby. Let's go gambling. P1. Pulls in its big arm, calling the reel assistance and spinning the reels rapidly for 30 seconds. Defeating an assistant makes it drop its token, which players can deposit in the One Arm Bandit to lock it in. When 2 tokens are locked in, the fabulous prize is dispensed. So, kill 2 ads and use their drop to lock in the spin wheel.
Does it say how many assistants it calls in, or
just says it calls in real assistants and you need 2 tokens and each one drops a token, so you need to kill 2 of them. Doesn't say if there's more. One Armed Bandit successfully cheats when not enough tokens are deposited. Oh yeah, in 30 seconds. There's a lot of like kill ads in X amount of time where you die in this raid. It's like the 3rd boss that has that. Okay, so if you don't deposit them in time, it's locked permanently and you pretty much die. 500% damage increase. Alright, so prizes. Shock and Flame. Depositing a shock token and a flame token creates a superheated coil. So you get to choose what slot you put them in. Is that what it is?
the ads drop certain tokens. A shock, a flame, a coin, and a
Okay.
flame token.
Ads drop specific tokens. Each combo of 2 tokens does different things. Interesting. Okay, so shock and flame token. Superheated coil. This electric coil releases traveling flames when created or activated. Okay. And explosive shrapnel. Activating a coil inflicts 20 million physical damage to the player who activates it and triggers the coil's effect. In addition, the coil draws in and absorbs the 2 nearest shocking fields. Okay.
So, okay.
So the tank has to be the one who activates any coil ever. Because all...
leaves behind the shocking field, so that's what's clearing it. So it seems like the tank has to do it.
Well, the tank has to activate any coil because every coil that is activated does 20 million physical damage to the person who activated it. So that's always a tank mechanic. Tanks have to activate any coil because it does 20 million physical damage to activator. Superheated coil. Flames shoot out from coil. It said what? When created and activated. So twice. Okay. And then I mean, every time it does 20 million damage and absorbs 2 nearest shocking fields. So that's really the only thing that coil does. Shocking bomb. This is a what? Dynamite laden coil. Sure. I have a feeling I know what that's gonna do. Dynamite booty. The walking dynamite chases a random player for 12 seconds. Upon reaching the target, it explodes, dealing damage to all players, and the dot. In heroic and mythic difficulty, the explosion additionally inflicts fire damage over time. So the dot. Okay. Alright, so spawns a walking dynamite that fixates for 12 seconds. Raid wide dam if reaches target. Question. Is the walking dynamite CCable? Do you get to choose which tokens you put in, or is it determined by fight? AKA, do only 2 assistants spawn? Okay. Again, clicking it, 20 million physical damage, 2 nearest shocking fields. Flaming bomb. Fiery dynamite booty. So this one doesn't spawn a coil? Okay. Multiple fiery dynamite booty bots, which have 100% increased health and 50% reduced movement speed. Okay. Okay, so these have health.
Or if you kill them and they just don't explode or something.
Yeah, so they might run really fast. So this spawns. No coil, multiple slow walking, but double health dynamites spawn and fixate. So this is like an AoE situation because you're gonna get a lot of them instead of just like 2 during this one. But these 2 move fast. Okay. And then the, ooh, upon death. Okay, so these ones, when killed, do AoE dam within 15 yards. So you want to kite them / knock them out. Okay. And spawns waves when exploding. Okay. Interesting. Flame and coin. Let's see. Positing flame and coin token causes the one-armed bandit to fire searing hot coins at all players every 0.5 seconds for 8 seconds, so just AoE damage. Stacking. Okay. It really feels like this should be a choice fight. It feels like you should just get tokens and you should be able to put them in whatever slot you want, and that would determine whether it's a shock token or not.
What I'm thinking is that, I mean, I could be wrong, but we got to see the fight. But when he summons assistants, I think he's going to summon one of each type of assistant, and it'll be up to the players to decide how the fight goes. It'll be one of those fights where we're basically going to choose the path of least resistance, whichever combination is easiest to do.
Yeah, I wish that it wasn't that way, and instead it was he only spawns 2 assistants, and then you just put the coin in whatever slots instead of spawning like 4 or 5 assistants or whatever it is, and then you just have like 3 wasted coins or whatever, or tokens. Yeah. That seems kind of weird. I wish it was, especially because also then you get 2 target instead of like 5 target, which just becomes an AoE fight, and two target cleave is like a horribly misrepresented niche in this game. But yeah, I mean, we'll see how it works tomorrow if they don't frickin' cancel testing again. All right, coin and shock creates a premium currency coil. Okay. Plated with gold. This electric coil activates coin magnet when created or activated. Okay, so what does coin magnet do? Attracts the gold in player bags, pulling them towards. So it's a magnet. All right, cool.
I'm gonna be a dude. Spend all your gold before the raid.
So on creation plus activation, it magnets people, doing damn and pulling for 5 seconds. That's really funny. How they wrote that. That's good. All right, coin and bomb. Yeah, there's so many different combos that it could be. Coin and bomb calls forth multiple premium dynamite booty bots. The premium currency increases health by 100% and damage done by 50% and makes it immune to CC. Okay, so the other ones are CCable. Okay. So this spawns multiple double health, 50% increased damage, immune to CC dynamites, immune to CC and interrupting. Why would interrupting matter? Are they casting? Who knows? Which just walk at people. Okay, so you just gotta kill them or kite them. Okay. Killing them is probably going to be hard without being able to CC them. Alright, so real assistance. This is interesting. I like this fight so far. Overload. Okay, so assistant. Interrupt cast. Sure. Bro, damage to all players and knocking them back. Oh, that's so toxic. Never miss an interrupt, please. Withering flames. Assistants wrap flames around a player, inflicting a dot for 20 seconds. Reduce the target's maximum health by 2% every time the flames inflict damage. And upon dispel, they do that. So put dot on player that also reduces their max health every second. Dispel plus so yeah, dispel shoots flame waves on the spell. Okay.
Melee right away.
Fuck melee. Just bing. Oh my, we're only halfway through this. Oh my god. Real assistant.
Line is where you want, dude.
Yeah, right. Inflicting 1.1 million nature damage every 2 seconds for 6 seconds. Electricity arcs off of the target and inflicts damage to all other. Okay, so it just does that damage to everyone else. Okay, so it just does AoE dam in the form of a chain lightning on tank that hits all players. So just kill them quickly. It stacks. Makes sense. Golden ticket. Each time the one-armed bandit spins its reels, it gains 5% attack speed. Okay. Payline. The one-armed bandit rolls a massive casino chip towards players, causing anyone caught in its path to become... That's dope. To become crushed. Players can stand near the path to become a high roller. Upon reaching its destination, the chip then falls over, inflicting 5 million nature damage to players within 15 yards, with an additional 1 million damage to all players. Players may roll these chips back to destroy them. Huh?
That's an interesting mechanic.
How do you roll it back? Oh, dude, this is dope as hell. I'm so hyped for this raid. Let's fucking go. Alright, so... boss abilities. Rolls coin across room. Getting hit... what is it? Crushed. Players rolled over by a chip or crushed underneath, suffering 5 million damage and stunned for 8 seconds. Hurts
sure
bad and stuns. Being near the coin gives buff. 10% healing. 10% healing. SDM plus 50% move speed for 15 seconds. Oh boy. Oh, let's go. I am so ready for this. This is amazing. Okay. While a payline chip is in play, the one-armed bandit's damage done is increased by 5%. Okay, so I assume after it like lands, you have to like send it back. So it does damn within 15 yards plus AoE damage to all players.
That's why you have to destroy them or something? Because, yeah, it looks like the more coins that are in play, the more damage and attack speed he's going to get.
Yeah, he's just being buffed as long as coins are out, so you have to roll them back. But, oh man, oh yeah, optimization, here we go. Optimization, what'd you say?
I said, how are you going to roll them back?
I assume you just click them. However, the optimization here is that you gain a buff for 15 seconds when you stand next to it when it rolled. So you want to wait till this buff is about to run out before you roll it back so you get 30 seconds of the buff.
I wonder what the platform looks.
So this is similar to like Silken Court dispels, where you technically want to dispel as late as possible to get the buff on the boss for the longest. I love that. Love that. And then you're gonna have to like balance that versus like leaving it up for too long and having too many coins out and the boss doing too much damage. That's fucking dope. All right, foul exhaust. One-armed bandit blasts out smoky exhaust at all players for 1.5 seconds. Each blast absorbs the next 1 million healing received. While the effect persists, it inflicts damage every 1 second and reduces movement speed by 10% per application. Okay, so
I wonder if you need the other buff to get rid of or to counter this. I wonder if the totem. I wonder if my jet stream clears this. That's what I'm gonna be testing. I'm gonna see how many mechanics I can break with jet stream.
yeah, Jetstream would be actually probably a really good one for this one. That's a great question. Does Jetstream talent remove the heal absorb foul exhaust? Crap. The big hit tanks. Bro, tanks are getting wrecked for warriors, bro. Bring warriors. Just physical damage out the butt. And
It
like
seems like yeah.
Guardian Druids. It's gonna be crazy for warriors and Guardian Druids this fight. This like every single mechanic on this fight does like 20 million physical damage.
Well, what do you think Sal's gonna be the main tank, or like you guys talked about that?
I mean, we mentioned it, at least for now. We have like Sal and Schnacks tanking. We did just get another app for a tank. It looks pretty good, so we may or may not take them, and then we'll see what the tanking situation looks like. But I mean, for the most part, we just expect tanks to be able to play whatever the hell tanks need to play.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so the big hit leaves behind a shocking field. So tank hit does massive physical damage and leaves behind shocking field, which is what's absorbed by activating the coil. Okay. And yeah, players standing in it, do blah blah blah. So there's like area denial with the shocking fields that eventually gets taken away by activating coils. Bro, this fight is dope. Alright, cheat to win. Cheats the system and determines its own results in a specific order. So P2. Bam, let's go. Linked machines. 3 shock symbols causes the one-armed bandit to periodically create hypercoils. A hypercoil knocks back all players on creation of activation and is linked to the one-armed bandit with the voltaic strike. So randomly spawns hypercoils, which knock back all players and is linked to boss with a voltaic streak, which sounds electric. Maybe there's an electric line between the boss. Yeah. Do it. Voltaic streak is beam between boss and coil. Passing through does massive damage. Saw that coming. And same thing, tank has to activate it.
Oh,
Yep. Hot heat. 3 flame symbols causes blazing flames to erupt from the one-armed bandit. So this is just random. Determines its own results. Oh, in a specific order. So it's going to be the same every time. Okay. So shock symbols does that. Flame symbols causes blazing flames to erupt from the one-armed bandit, marking random players for 5 seconds. Upon expiration or removal, a line of flames blast outwards from them, inflicting 3.7 million to all players struck. So
Ice block, probably Cloak of Shadows, bubble. So I can clear it early.
okay, so this is shock buff for only spawns hypercoils. Flame buff puts dots on some players for 5. That's not a dot. Puts debuff some players for 5 seconds. Upon expiration or removal, they shoot flame waves. Debuff does no damage to players with it, which is interesting, so it doesn't really fucking matter. Okay. Coin buff. Golden coins wildly. AoE damage every 2 seconds until destroyed. AoE damage until boss is defeated. Damn, that sucks. Okay. Explosive jackpot. 3 bombs causes the one-armed bandit to explode. Okay, so this is probably the order they come in then. Shock, then flame, then coin, then bomb. Causes boss to explode and you die. So that's the enrage. Okay, cool. Payline. The one-armed bandit rolls a massive casino ship towards players. Okay, so he just does this in P2 as well. Okay, so boss also rolls coins in P2, so same shit as P1. And does exhaust and does AoE exhaust, which is the heal absorb, and tank hit.
So it looks like he does the same exact mechanics, it's just he cheats on which combinations you...
Yeah, the boss abilities are the same in P2. He just also gets these buffs in a specific order to where he does some other shit. Because in P2, he's not spawning... You're not killing assistants and spawning coils. He's doing it himself. This is a really interesting fight. How can you remove the P2 flame debuff? Ice block / bubbles. This is super interesting. I like this fight a ton.
Here, what I would check is I would check the models and see if the assistants have different models. Maybe that will determine if they have different coins.
Doesn't show you.
No.
Nope.
They just get those same.
This is why I think like you just get like it spawns 2 assistants and you get 2 coins and you get to choose what slot you put them in. Or it might just be random, like you don't get to choose because it's spinning a wheel.
That's worst case scenario though, because
yeah, that'd be terrible.
That would be terrible because then sometimes you just pull and it would just be a scuff pull because of one of the mechanics is going to be horribly terrible to deal with. I don't know.
But it's a slot machine. Like I feel like that's how it's gonna work.
That's RNG, baby, right there.
That'd be really unfortunate. Maybe it's just like set order every time. Let's see what the overview says. Bearing various symbol tokens. So the real assistants have symbol tokens. Feeding these assistants and depositing their tokens win the one. Okay, so yeah, the assistants have the specific tokens, so you do get to choose. Now it still doesn't say if only like 2 assistants spawn, so you're locked into the tokens they have, or if more do, but we'll find out. Okay, so you do get to choose because it says, or a repeat combination is detected, it blows up. So you can't do the same thing twice in a row. So you do get to choose. because that wouldn't be a line if like it wasn't possible, if the assistant's like determined for you. So at least enough assistants spawn to where you get to choose. Maybe not all types spawn, maybe only 3 of the 4, but you at least have a choice. So you at least have 3 assistants at once.
Maybe it's something where like you can push P2 based on health, so the ones that you easy to deal with, so you can kill the boss faster.
Yeah, I mean that's certainly what it'll turn to in farm. In Prague, you probably will have to go through all of them, similar to like Ovanax, where we don't even do the last phase anymore. But in Prague, you had to go through everything, and you chose which one was the easiest to start in.
Fight reminds me of Kurog, and it's in a similar spot as Kurog.
Yeah,
Like
this.
a 4 elemental place you get to choose.
This is a dope fucking fight, dude. I am
Ooh,
so
look at
hyped for
that.
this fight.
Look at that room. It's the roulette. Oh, that's so cool.
I'm so hyped for this fight, actually. This fight's amazing.
Bellagio is like a casino hotel, so everything's gonna be like goblin bougie. You know, it's gonna be like Las Vegas themed. I don't know. It's gonna be bitchin'.
Dude, they did great with this one. I'm hyped for this. I don't even have anything to say. I'm super hyped. Is there anything else to test besides these things, though? There's so much going on. Oh, can you break the fixates? Fixates. Ice block, invis, cloak, / vanish. I don't know which. And if so, do they refixate? Always a good question. So we have fixates.
Did you ask or did you write? Does the shocking fields or any of those the area denial, does it despawn, or is it only cleared by them removing it?
Doesn't appear to despawn. It'll be hard to kind of see because.
Yeah, that's gonna be a hard one to test.
So you're gonna have to use the coils to free up space in the room eventually, but you don't necessarily have to do it right away. There's nothing that says like that the boss activates any coils left up or anything. So you could leave the coils up for an extremely long time and just only click them when you need space, which means you only have to deal with whatever the thing they do when you need space, which means like you don't have to spawn these bombs.
The boss model looks like it's stationary, or does it look like it moves because it's a slot machine?
1 second. I don't know.
Like
kind of looks
like
stationary, but it's got like legs. It's got like walking legs. It moves. It's got little walking legs. Yeah, this is, oh man, this is a super interesting fight. Okay, so what happens if you never activate coils? I assume you run out of room space, but it's possible that you don't have to activate that many of them, and if so, you would like not activate the fixate one.
Say the coils like they chalk off each other, so that would be the area denial you're talking about.
Wait, what?
I thought the coils would like zap to each other, so if you don't destroy them, that's what creates the area of denial.
Nope, not that I can see. Doesn't say anything about that. Each coil just does its own thing, and then the coil that the boss creates for the shock one in P2 puts a line between the coil and the boss.
Oh, okay, that's what I got confused.
So that's the only one, and you only have 2 other coils in the fight. Well, you have. Okay, there's actually the magnet one too. So you have 4 total coils. 1 spawns flame waves, 1 spawns fixate adds, 1 does the magnet, and then the one in P2 does the lightning beam between the boss and the coil. So those are your 4 coils. So you have, I assume, 1 for each type, right? A flame coil, a bomb coil, a coin coil, and a lightning coil, and lightning coil comes in P2. So like if you didn't want to deal with fixate adds, you could just never click the bomb coil. Clicking the flame coil is probably pretty easy because it's just dodge waves. The magnet coil might get annoying depending on what else is going on, but I feel like there's not, as long as you don't activate it while a coin is rolling through the arena, I feel like it's not that bad to be able to play with that one.
Yeah.
It just, does it do damage while the magnet's going on? Yeah, it does damage, but that's a very low amount of damage, but it'll probably be buffed. So, yeah, you could just never activate coils. If you don't kill the assistants fast enough, you die. That's known. Okay. Can never.
Most of the testing will probably just be testing out what the different combinations look like in P1. I don't know. Maybe you guys get to P2 a couple times, but I think most of the time you're gonna want to see what all these different combinations do.
Yeah, well, it's interesting. It says, does it say when the boss goes into P2 anywhere? No. He just spins every time he gets to 100 energy. After all the valid combinations have been rolled, he overloads. Okay, so once you've done each thing once. And you can't ever repeat. So you just have to go through each thing once. You just get to choose which order you do them. So it might make sense to do like the magnet coil first and activate it early or something. When there's not like... First. Well, you might want to do the magnet one first when there's nothing else going on. Because it's like a magnet pull. I assume it's going to be a pretty strong pull because that's a pretty weak effect otherwise. You may do the bomb one last and then never activate it, maybe. Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
I like the fights where you have agency in how you actually do them, so it'll be interesting to see how people approach this fight.
So this one I really like because it really does seem like you have like full agency to choose what you want to do. Ovanax was like fake agency where you actually didn't, because like you were locked into doing things in a certain order or else the blood would hit the ads and they would enrage. So you actually didn't really have that much agency in Ovanax besides like what zone did you start in. But this is like really seems like you have full like agency to do whatever you want. Like if the raid is worse at dodging flame waves than they are at handling fixate ads, like do flame waves first and get it out of the way and be done with it. But this seems super cool. I'm super excited for this fight. This seems dope as hell. It's got like a
number 6 in the raid, huh? Yeah.
It's got like a damage amp thing. It's, oh man, this is, I'm about it. I can't wait to watch so many people get rolled over by the coin. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. All right, cool. I gotta move on because I gotta be done with this shit. Oh,
there you go. Oh no.
What the? I just said I gotta be done with this. And they dropped the Omega. The Alpha and the Omega on me.
Oh my. Oh,
it's never ending. Bro, this is gonna be the tier of all tiers for my job to be like simplifying things down so much. I don't want anybody looking at all this shit. This is like the vast majority of this is absolutely useless for them to know. Like the only thing people need to know is what do they need to do about stuff. But there's like so much in here that like people would get overwhelmed with reading that they just, it's just unimportant, right? For a DPS, it's just like dodge circles, dodge circles, dodge circles, dodge beam. Go stand in this one place, click this one item. Like that's all you need to know. But holy shit, from a raid lead perspective, like I have so much work to simplify all this down.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, let's go. There's a whole another one.
Every tab has like another mini tab. Oh my god, this is a monster.
These designers really feeling themselves this raid. And I mean, I think they've slammed it so far, but holy crap, they need to calm down with the amount of things in here.
Well, it's good. Half of it's like flavor text, so they really enjoy like describing these abilities.
They like talking, that's for sure. God damn. All right. Mug Z.
One head is Mug.
Oh, what's up, Revenge? How's it going, man? All right, first check out the boss model. Oh, he's the gangster. Yeah, hell yeah.
Badass. Yeah.
All right, he's got some helpers. He's got a bomb, he's got an elemental, he's got some lady, and he's got a freaking flying shocker turret. Hell, I love the aesthetic of this raid, to be honest. I hate goblins, but I love the look of all the mech casino shit. Yeah, no, I said it. Get the fuck out of here. Goblins suck. Anyway, moving on. Head honcho. Mug and Z take turns being the head honcho. Whenever the majority of players are on either Mug or Z's side of the room, that head takes charge. Okay. Explain what this room looks like. Well, there you go.
That's a spade, sorry. Well, it's a heart.
It's a heart. Interesting. Okay. So, room split 50-50. Having majority of players on either side changes which boss is in charge. Removing 10 applications of Moxie and granting Muggsy a unique set of abilities. Switching heads removes 10 applications of Moxie of buff that boss has.
Yeah, it's the one right under.
That's basically what it is, yeah. In addition, when Mug takes control, he unleashes Elemental Carnage. When Z takes control, he unleashes blah blah blah. So, when Mug takes control, what is Elemental Carnage? Commanding the elements to assault players, inflicting damage to all players for 6 seconds. Players then branded with Elemental Calamity, emanates with Elemental Ferocity, inflicting damage to all players every... Okay, so just AoE damage.
2 minutes.
And puts AoE dot on raid for 2 minutes. And the other guy does what? What's it called? Uncontrolled Destruction. Okay.
It's the same thing but fire.
Z does the same thing but fire. Okay, so what's the other one? Elemental. Okay. But fire dam does AoE elemental dam. What the hell that means? Okay, double-minded fury upon reaching 100 energy. Muggsy berserks. Okay, so enrage at 100 energy, doing massive raid-wide dam every 1 second. So you pretty much die in like 3 seconds. Okay. Mug. When he's in control, what do we have? Earthshaker Gowl commands Galagio goons, I don't know, to lock down several players inside Earth Gowls, inflicting 12 million nature damage split evenly among all players within 8 yards of the impact. Okay, so roots likely several players and puts AoE soak on them. Interesting. Okay. The goons enrage if Muggsy or another goon overlaps the Gowl.
All players.
Wait, I think the goon. So elemental add. It says locks down several players inside Earth and Gowls, but maybe it's just elemental add does AoE split soak. So question, of course, can you solo soak the elemental add? I think that's what happens. I think locks down is just like their flavor text, but we'll see. If
It reads like an incapacity.
it sounds like a root to me, but the way it actually like words what actually happens to players is just that it's an AoE soak. So that's what I'm gonna say it is for now. And if we find out different, we find out different. The goon enrages if the boss or another goon overlaps. So, or if all players escape the goal. Okay, so they are rooted. So if boss or another add overlaps circles, the add gets 5% damage increase. Same if all players leave the circle. Okay. Interesting. The goon violently erupts in earth in a frontal cone, so does frontal interrupt cast. The goon erupts when killed, inflicting 1.8 damage to players within the goal and knocking them back. Okay, so the ads just have a thing around them all the time, I guess.
What's the definition of
I don't know.
a place of confinement? People accused of a crime. So yeah, it's probably like a circle around them. Yeah, probably right. So
What the hell? The goon erupts when killed, inflicting damage to players within the Gowl. Colliding with a wall of Earthshaker Gowl causes it to be destroyed. I'm so confused.
A gal is like a prison. So
Yeah.
I think that there's people that need to go soak it, and they get trapped in there, and then you need to kill the ad next to it to break the wall to break them out.
I think you're right.
Which would suck, because then there's got to be something about it, because you just got people stuck in there. Can't do anything. What are they doing in there?
Okay. This is interesting to me. I think that's what it is. I think those players are probably the one that kills the ad. The goon's death causes the earth to shake, inflicting damage to players within the Gowl until cancelled. Until cancelled. That's poor wording, but until like what's canceled? Is there multiple ads that they have to kill? I don't know. I'm gonna move on. I don't know how that's gonna work. We'll find out, or we'll never get there and we'll just die. Who knows? Okay. Frost Shatter Boots. Encases several players' feet in blocks of ice. Damage to players within 4 yards every 1 second, causing them to slide for 8 seconds. So
let's go.
Puts AoE debuff on some players. Does dam in 4 yards and causes the target player to slide. Have fun. Lol.
These 10 Earth Enjoyers, let's go.
Coalesces and launches a lethal Frost Shatter Spear towards each affected player, so they have to run away. Also, launches Spear at targeted player, so they have to slide away. 31 million damage. Oh, no big deal.
Oh, they can impact that with the ball.
Okay. Spear can hit player, wall, or crawler mine. This has so many interactions going on. I'm like tired of talking. I've had to talk so much with all the different mechanics on these fights. Oh. Mug fulminates lightning outward from his finger, inflicting nature damage in a frontal cone. Excess electricity in the area causes a storm flurry cloud. Mug does frontal. They haven't done boss frontals in a while. They're actually bringing them back. I'm kind of cool with that.
They got a couple of them in here so far, yeah.
Yeah, I'm alright with that. They didn't have any in Neverbar.
I noticed that I've been standing in front of the boss a lot.
Yeah, it's gonna catch melee off guard. Alright, so the Storm Fury Cloud, a looming storm cloud, crackles with energy, unleashing bolts that strike the ground, inflicting 1.8 nature damage. Okay, so also causes dodge circles on rest of raid. Okay. Molten Gold Knuckles. Unleashes a blow of molten gold and lava in a frontal cone. Okay. Players hit are covered in golden drip. Blow leaves players covered in molten gold, causing players to drip molten gold pools in their wake. Each pool that is created removes an application of golden drip after 10 seconds. If molten gold pools isn't removed, the player is turned to golden drip. So they just have to keep moving to get rid of all the stacks. Yeah, because it creates pools as they move. So each pool that is created removes an application stack. So they have to run until it's over. And if they don't get rid of it, they're stunned for 30 seconds. Get wrecked, tanks.
Yeah, so like that's a tank swap, and then one of the tanks will probably have to run away and position that.
Yeah, long gold chips to the ground. Okay, so for 3 minutes, contact with the gold does damage and slows movement speed. Okay. So this is lightning frontal. Gold frontal is tank. Swap plus tank who was hit drops pools and has to keep running or get stunned for 30 seconds. Get wrecked tanks. All right, Z. Let's go, my boy Z. Oh my god, we're only like 30% of the way through. All right, so Z does crawler mines. Scatters mines that fixate on players. So mines fixate on players. Detonate, come into contact. Explode on contact with players. Slash Earthshaker goals. Owls. Fire damage to the target, triggering the mine, knocking them away. Okay. Triggering your mine unleashes unstable cluster bomb and a barrage of searing shrapnel. The player triggering onto a mine takes increased damage from crawler mines. Okay, cool. Okay, so unstable cluster bomb. The mine explodes into a cluster of bombs, inflicting 1.8 damage to players within 3 yards of the impact location. So spawns dodge circles. Clusters that fail to hit a oh, spawn soak circles. Think potion bottles on Inerva. Yeah. Searing shrapnel. The blast embeds searing shrapnel in the player's flesh, causing them to absorb healing. While afflicted by this, they also suffer damage every 1 second. So if player hit mine, they have heal absorb, which also does dam while still absorbing. Okay. Volunteer Rocketeer. To assist him, the volunteer guides an explosive payload to a player's location, inflicting massive damage split evenly amongst all players within 12 yards of the impact and creating a hot mess. Okay, so does big AoE soak circle. If the rocket fails to eat at least 5 players, so requires 5 players. It inflicts massive damage to all players. Okay. On heroic and different, they become afflicted with radiation sickness. Okay. After surviving the rocket's impact, the Rocketeer begins to assault players. Okay, so after soak, it spawns add. It says does big AoE soak circle at a player's location. So player's location that requires 5 people. After soak, it spawns an add. The add does 2 things. Fires a stimulation beam at a random player, taking damage every 1 second for 12 seconds. Every 1 second, damage is increased by 100%. So it does beam at random player. Is volunteer add beam dodgeable? And rocket jump activates the rocket belt to jump to a player. Okay. I don't think it is. I think it just does damage till he's dead. Alright, so hot mess. The rocket leaves behind a fiery mess, so yeah, it leaves behind a fire pool. Radiation sickness. Players impacted by the rocket suffer radiation sickness, so they can't soak again. So soakers have debuff, can't soak again for 1 minute. This is going to be Olgrax, basically exactly. Spray and praise. He unleashes a cone of bullets at a player, inflicting damage every 0.3 seconds to 3. Ooh, I remember that one.
Cones. Let's go.
Boss does random frontal cone at player, dealing dam for 3 seconds to all players in it. So this would be like Beastmaster from Castle Nathria, the second boss. It's kind of like that. Kind of like Beastmaster from Castle Nathria, except instead of only instant, it's for 3 seconds, so you have to move out. You actually have to dodge it. So you want to stay loosely spread so that it doesn't hit as many people as possible. And then once it starts, you have to get out of it, or else you're going to take, what is this, 10 times 7.5 million damage if you just stand there?
Yeah.
Alright, Z summons an Electro Shocker when he becomes the head honcho. When Z takes over, he spawns Electro Shocker. What does the Electro Shocker do? Fires an arc of electricity at a random player. If it can damage, jumping up to 9 targets, its damage increased by 10% each time it jumps. Does chain lightning. Does more damage with each jump. Hits up to 9 players. Huge question here. Is the chain lightning from Electro Shocker available on first target, and will it not jump if target is far enough away from other players? So can you make it so that it only hits one person, since it does increase damage each time it jumps, and it says up to 9 targets, which means that there's potential that it doesn't hit that many people. Okay, upon reaching 80% health, the flyer malfunctions, becoming stunned and taking 100% damage. Okay, so get it to 80% HP, and it takes 100% dam increase and is stunned for 8 seconds. So kill it in 8 seconds. Okay. Double whammy shot, tank ability. Z fires an explosive high caliber round, inflicts a play towards a random player. Okay, so hello. So this is the what's his name? DeSausage. Does the sausage line attack at random player that tank needs to soak? The sausage was from what, Sepulcher? Okay. So what the hell did...
Does that mean everybody needs to... No, I guess not, because everybody will get stunned. Does everybody need a partner?
1 sec, I'm responding to somebody. Inflicting 15 million damage to the closest player and apply... I mean, it's gotta be the tank. So the tank has to be the closest person to this person. And applying perforating wound. All other targets take up to 16 million physical damage, reduced by the closest player's total damage mitigation. So the tank has to be the closest person toward where this high caliber round is. It says fires towards a random player. Maybe that player moves out of the way and then the tank moves in. Not quite sure. All players hit or stun for 2 seconds. In addition, explosive payload is lodged in the original target. The round lodges in the original target, exploding after 6 seconds, doing 5 million fire damage to players, and detonates crawler mines within 15 yards. Holy shit.
Oh.
Okay. Tank has to be closest player with dam mitigation up. Unclear if original target can dodge. Original target gets debuff that explodes in 5 seconds, dealing massive damage. It does what again? 5 million damage to players and detonates crawler mines. Okay. Well, it does 5 million damage to players. It doesn't say it does it to him. In 5 seconds, doing massive damage to players and lines in 15 yards. Yeah, things get fucked. Does the debuff from, what the hell is this called again? Double whammy shot. So on original target, deal damage to that target? Don't know. Oh my god, we are now at intermission. Holy shit. Damio, these fucking writers are really feeling themselves in this raid. There's just so
Bugsy. Look at him,
bro. But look at this.
I mean, this is probably just one of these bosses that reads really hectically, but probably plays out pretty smoothly.
Okay, but that's been every boss in the raid so far.
Yeah.
Every single boss I go over, I'm like, bro, there's no way they have more abilities than the last boss, and then they just continually have more. We're still only like 60% of the way through this boss. Look at this. Ah!
Just going blind or something. Oh.
No.
Yeah.
Some of this is repeated. I see it, but yeah, holy shit. Okay, intermission. 40% health causes boss intermission. Okay, what happens in intermission? They decide to work together, unleashing a series of static charges and bullet storms before their final combined assault begins. Okay, so they have a short intermission before PT. Static charge, harness the electricity around him, and charges all player, inflicting 2.5 million damage to players in his path. So charges at random player is the 40% intermission charge baitable player first or something. Okay, that's pretty simple. Upon reaching his target, Muggsy unleashes a storming impact, releases his static charge, inflicting damage to all players and knocking them back. Reduced by the number of players struck by the charge. Okay, so once he reaches target, he does AoE, dam, and knockback reduced by number of people in line. So this is think Council of Dreams or Mirror Soul. It's the same thing, except it has a knockback instead of just a damage. I hope they get rid of the knockback. Forced knockbacks are annoying. Bullet Storm. Muggsy spins in place, firing volleys of lightning and lead for 8 seconds. Mug unleashes thunderous waves of lightning, inflicting 1.5 million nature damage to all players in a cone on one side of Muggsy, and Z fires a spray of bullets, inflicting damage to all players in a cone on the opposite side of Muggsy. So just AoE damage. Okay.
Well, doesn't it seem to imply that, like, let's say like cardinal directions, he charges north, he probably cones east and west, but the charge is going to knock people back. So I think the idea here is that you want to create a line, not a line necessarily, but maybe groups or smaller groups, and spread them out so they're not getting hit by the storm, but they have to be close enough to stack for the impact. So this, and it says a series of these. So like, what is a series? Let's say 3, right? So like this is happening repeatedly. So you have to dodge, but also stay stacked. It seems to be this like little intermission point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's almost like Skyne Spinner intermission and the Aerosol charge from Dreams at the same time.
Yeah, this is gonna be wild. Alright. P2, final phase. Join forces. Gains access to all of their abilities from stage 1.
Makes sense.
Okay. And he has Bloodlust. Okay.
Fuck yeah.
Okay. Sure, hell yeah. And you can no longer remove Moxie, so he's just gaining 1% damage every 5 seconds. And upon reaching 100 energy, okay, he enrages, that's his enrage. And then it's every ability again. Doesn't look like anything is different, it's just all the same abilities, but he has Bloodlust. Well, that's fun. I hope he actually does like cast these abilities super fast. That'd be fucking cool.
I think they're having a lot of fun with this raid.
Dude, this raid looks freaking amazing. Alright, yeah, so P2, boss does all abilities with Bloodlust. So it's just Silken Court.
Yeah.
Alright.
Ardent Rage and all that. Jesus.
Fuck yeah. Okay. This is what a banger. Frontal cone dodgeable. They kind of have to be, or else you kind of just get wrecked. Okay, cool. Any other things to test for tomorrow on this fight? This fight's wild.
Trying to I mean, there's so many abilities I can't really process.
Tell me about it, brother.
Yeah. Right. Forward Pettis. So I wonder how often, like, we're gonna want to switch back and forth in P1. Like,
You have no idea.
it's gonna be like play and see.
Well, he gains 1% damage done every 5 seconds, so every minute he's got a 12% increased damage.
That debuff lasts 2 minutes. Wasn't there a debuff that lasts 2 minutes when they switch sides, right? Calamity, Elemental Calamity lasts 2 minutes, and then the Fire one lasts 2 minutes. So I'm probably assuming you want to keep them on each side roughly 2 minutes.
Yep. Probably, which means you're dealing with 24% increased damage, and then every time you switch, he drops 10, so he gets to 14, and then he gains 24 more, so he gets to 38% increased damage. Ooh.
Might be a boss that punishes you if you push at the wrong time.
And you have 100 energy to phase him before he kills you. I wonder if his energy resets at 40%. Because otherwise, how fast would his energy go up? If it's what, 2 seconds per energy tick, that's only 200 seconds. That's not long enough. That's 3 minutes and 20 seconds. So it's got to be like 4 seconds per energy tick if it doesn't reset. To make it like 400 seconds, which is like 6.5 minutes or something. Interesting.
I guess that could be something we could watch for. Is like how fast is it?
Yeah.
Because that'll determine how we do stats.
How fast does energy gain? Does energy reset at intermission? Okay. Does energy gain change in P2? Any other questions to test tomorrow on this boss?
I think that's the biggest one that I would have.
I have no idea how the Gowls work, and we're just gonna find out.
It's the British word for prison. I'm assuming it's a cage that we need to break the wall.
I understand that. I just don't know what it's gonna look like and how it actually works. Also, how do you pronounce this? Jail?
Yeah, it's jail. Yeah.
What the f-
Oh my, we've been calling it Gowl.
What?
No way. Is that actually how you say it?
That's how
Yeah.
he says it.
Yeah.
Get the hell out of here. Okay.
Dude. I've been.
Whatever, man. Last boss room is another circle, like always.
Does it look like a nutsack?
Don't worry about it. It's a heart. Like-
I've seen hearts before.
No,
I know what
it's-
that looks like.
It's a literal heart. It is like a card,
It's
a heart.
That's a nutsack. I've seen a nutsack before.
Also, look at this man. He's got so much heart.
He's built for tough. Sure.
Shaman bosses are traditionally the best bosses.
They definitely should have slapped a monocle on the one-eyed guy, but it's unfortunate.
They put a hat
Yes,
on elemental.
this
That's actually-
exactly what we kind of theorized. Traps them within walls, and then you have to break them out by breaking the walls. But if all players leave the walls before all of the adds are dead, the adds gain a 500% damage buff and 500% attack speed buff. So you have to kill all the adds before breaking the walls or get them close enough to death to where they won't murder you.
Think there's any possibility that you could see play Enrage?
That is a great question.
No.
That is an
One would
absolutely
be-
great question.
I doubt that you'd be able to, but that would be kind of cool.
Love that question.
Oh.
Bro, I'm never fucking God damn it.
Gall.
The gall. I'm never calling it jail. The gall.
What's Old English?
Everybody's gonna call it.
Yeah, I remember Max saying that, and then I completely forgot about what he was talking about. Alright. Bro, what a fight.
Well then, after tomorrow, what is it? Wait, is tomorrow Friday?
Yeah, tomorrow's Friday, so we haven't done the first 3 because we were supposed to do them today, so that's next Wednesday, which I probably won't be able to go to because I have to take off work to do this, and then they just effed me over by canceling the testing.
Well, no, because we can still do it on normal. Because tomorrow,
I
normal mode
can't
works probably.
raid on most times.
I will record everything and I post VODs and stuff too.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, I will definitely see it from people for sure, but I like to be there, and unfortunately, I won't be able to because Blizzard decided to screw the servers.
Yep.
All right, this fight, I am super excited to see this fight.
I think the One-Armed Bandit and Muggsy, those 2 fights. Those are going to be the bangers. of the
These two,
raid.
they sound amazing. They sound so cool.
Yeah. I really like Styx Bunk Chucker. Even after seeing you guys test it, I'm like super excited to actually get in there and do that fight. Rick Reverb, I really wanted to see him. That looks like a super interesting fight with like the dancing and the and the music and shit.
Mhm.
Like I don't know, every single fight in this raid looks really
Look
cool.
it down.
Yeah, I'm down for it. I'm about it. All right, these seem great. Any other questions before we end it?
I'm all good. Looking forward to
Yeah.
seeing it tomorrow.
I hope we actually get into P2. We may not. This actually fight seems a little bit easier to get further in, but it depends on how much boss health it has as well and how well coordinated we are. But I hope we get into P2 just so we can see like how fast he casts abilities and stuff like that. I really want to see the intermission too. All right, cool deal.
All right.
Hell yeah.
Have a good night, gentlemen.
All right, boys. Yep, I am out. Thanks for joining in for 10 minutes, Damio.
Later, Gators.
See you guys. Alright, stream. I'm out for now. These bosses tomorrow look freaking amazing. Tune in to the stream. I'll be testing them. I likely will be playing mage shittily because I'll be way more interested in the boss mechanics and what they're doing. But we're gonna have a good time, that's for sure. Thanks for watching, everybody.